Hi, my name's Gridley. I have hereditary spastic paraplegia and SPG8. I've been here in Tampa, visiting from New York. Can you call? I grew up in South Dakota. My mother had HSP, although we didn't know what it was. Her father had it, didn't know what it was. My mother and grandmother were studied at NIH in Sanchez, and were told it was spinocerebellar ataxia. It is not. And why had them the word year in that time is 2011, and then I saw my mother's neurologist who confirmed that I had the same thing my mom had, but again, we didn't know like what it was. And then my mother died in 2017, and later that year, I saw a neurologist in New York who said, I don't think you have that, do genetic testing. And that's when I got to find that it was HSP.
Yeah. So how long did it take for you to get your diagnosis?
That long. Yeah, I mean, I had a frustrating experience with different neurologists in New York, so I sort of avoided them for a few years. But then I finally just thought, like, let's figure this out. First, my mother had passed away, so I didn't have anybody to ask.
One thing that's interesting is a lot of folks who have HSP, they ask parents, like a bleeding mother had it. And it's kind of a common story where they just talk about it. And so is that your experience?
I watched my mom, she put this trouble. She was a tough lady, and she faced it with a smile. She always said, I'm a happy Kim, but I watched her use a walking stick and a walker or a wheelchair, that trajectory. I remember in elementary school, kids would say, why didn't your mom walk that way? And I'd be like, that's just his ability. And then I would ask her, what is it? Because I'm tired of my classmates asking.
Yeah.
And she either didn't remember the name or didn't care. And she was like, just tell him it's like MS.
That's so funny. That's what I used to say. Yeah. That's more well known, right? And people would ask me, what's wrong with you? And I got to the point where I thought, well, does it really matter, right? Like, do I hear you? Yeah,
diagnosis, no.
Right. So I would say, have a disorder. So as long as being here at the conference, is it your first time here?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
So what's something that you find that you gain, or what's your best experience?
I was so moved. I arrived Thursday, and so I was so moved just checking in and seeing other people like me. It really is the community, because it's so easy with these diseases. I imagine with PLS, probably even more so, just because of the numbers. You've got fewer buddies around, but just seeing other people in, walking like I do, or walking, and the parade of mobility devices, that is exquisite. I'm a fan.
So many, I've seen so many I've never, you can say A-Link.
I got that up in my room.
Yeah. Right, that's so cool. I love it. That reminds me, so they have the Abilities Expo, and a couple of years ago we went to one in Dallas, and my daughter said, this is the first time I feel like everyone is staring at us. Yeah, right? Yes, you're like, you feel like you stick out, and then it's like when you're with people who are like you, it's so comfortable and so easy to just be yourself, right?
Yeah, and the doctors said all the wonderful and finding. Yeah, I have SPG8, which isn't one of the popular ones, but I found two other women how they got a reset. And the very moving thing is that one of them has the same name as my mother. I almost wept when I found that out. I had spelt the secretary
coming to this conference. At first I thought, it's going to be sad, right? You kind of think about that, like, oh, this is going to be, I don't want to go. But it's so joyful. Yeah, it fills you with hope, and you connect with people that you never thought you would, right? You would have never found them otherwise, right?
No,
but probably going to have their, lifelong friends from it. And so I agree. I think that's the thing that, people neat to come to something like this.
Right. And I'm looking forward to those years. Yes, me too. And I work in a theater. So I'm working on a show right now called Lottery One. That's going to premiere in 2025 or 2026 in New York City. So that's also part of why I came to the conference, because I thought, let me find out more and like talk to other people with agents.
Well, let us know whenever that comes out. That's Midland to
Absolutely.
share it with people. That's so cool.
Yes.
Awesome, Aaron.